All my life, I always try to develop new ways to find happiness and also develop as a better musician. But music definitely give me a purpose.
How did you come to violin?
When I was 5 years old, I was listening to at my parents' place to Mendelssohn Concerto for violin, and the violin really struck me. I was like, wow, and I wanted to do this instrument, so I asked my parents to get a violin for lessons.
How did you know that violin was your instrument? Was there another option for you?
I still don't know if it's for me the instrument itself, but the violin stick to me and as something that seems more natural and without forcing, or it was more almost like part of the way I wanted to express myself without thinking too much.
How did you learn to play violin?
At the beginning, I was at the conservatory, and I thought violin was about technique, and so I was trying to really understand the mechanism and the function of the instrument, how you use it, how you play it, how you place your hand, and how you produce the sound. And now I'm entering a new phase that it's more about how to connect the violin to my thoughts and my direct emotions, to be able to break the border between the instrument and my voice, basically. So the violin became extension of my ideas, and so
How would you describe your conversation with your own instrument?
conversation, even like the relationship with it, it's like kind of a conversation. So it's like some days I look at it and as a piece of wood, beautiful, like from 1889, and I'm like, wow, this is old, this is beautiful, this is antique. And I look at it as a non-musician, just as a guy who was impressed by the beauty of the instrument itself, physically. And then sometimes I think about all the thing we went through, since I got this one, because I switched violins many times because of the size, and I grew up, but I got this one since I was 15 or 16 years old. So it's been a long time. I've been playing violin for 25 years, maybe. 25 years, I think. So sometimes I feel when I'm on tour and I'm going to the hotel or whatever, I open the instrument to practice, and I'm like, wow, we are here. Like, for example, we're in West Africa right now for this tour, and because of our relationship, like, because talking to my violin and I together, we cross oceans, and we went to different countries and continents. Sometimes there's like some moment of doubt and loneliness, practicing, not getting the right thing you want to get, but sometimes I feel fortunate and full of joy looking at the instrument.
You're a violinist composer. Is there any connection between improvisation and composition for you?
Yeah, there's a lot of connection, and the more I compose, the more I enrich my improvisation, and also having an improviser for now maybe 15 years. I don't know. I started jazz music when I was about 14 years old. I'm 32. I'm about to be 32 next month. So yeah, it's been quite a journey, and I can start to see some connections with improvisation, composition, and some bridges in between. And also the way I compose changed because of the way I improvise and my way of improvising. The big difference would be like when I improvise, I do it on the spot, and I cannot go back. When it's done, it's done. But when I compose something on the paper, I can edit the next day and the next month and 2 years later. So in composition, there's like this thing where you can come back and edit and change and make it better or make it different. And in improvisation, it's forever. So this is a big difference. But this is the same mechanisms you use for the same tools with harmony, rhythms and melody and counterpoint and technique things are basically the same with improvisation and composition.
How would you define a good improvisation alone and a good improvisation with other musicians on stage?
A good improvisation alone, you mean like as a solo? For me, that would be to be true to yourself and your ideas, and try to avoid the easy ways to impress or to try to prove things, and try to really be into the moment, connect, listen to your own self, own ideas, and try to really realize what you have in mind, And also, I would say being a little bit bold, like take chances, take risk, not being afraid. This is maybe two things, like not being afraid and being honest, basically.
You performed with great musicians like Stevie Wonder, Cassandra Wilson, or Joss Stone. What is so special about playing with such musicians?
Those musicians that you named are some of great music icon, especially Stevie Wonder, that I've been working for 2 years. It's definitely like a way for me to really see behind the curtain, basically, because I saw one of my heroes was working with the music, and he was very serious and dedicated and humble and simple, basically, like a very thoughtful person, So I saw the human being, the musician. I knew the music, but I didn't know the guy behind the music, and it was very instructive as a band leader, because myself I'm a band leader, and I saw how he was managing to really hold and direct the band with giving a lot of freedom and good vibes, And so I work with the Pink Floyd too, like Roger Waters, and for his last album, it was kind of the same. He's an older man, like he's been around for a long time, and he has the same kind of attitude. And I saw like a very similar connection between those giants. They always seem to be, most of them, very humble in a way that they trust in themselves, in the music. They are confident, but they're not trying to put other people down. They're trying to really lift everybody around them, try to make them feel as good as they are, and making feel them like part of a team, of a family. Or it's funny, because when I talked to Stevie and I said after the show that I was really emotional about the show, and I say, you're sounding amazing, Stevie, and he told me that, say, hey, you too, bro, you're sounding great. So this kind of thing, of course he's a genius and everything, but he's trying to put the other person in front of him on the same level, and this is simply because he's very generous and humble. He's just doing music at the end of the day for him, even though he's a genius.
What is a good band leader on stage for you?
So a good band leader, in my opinion, is with somebody who is very confident about his music, really well prepared, that knows his music really well, and has an idea of everything that's going to happen, and has a clear idea of what he wants, on stage. And at the same time, somebody who is going to be relaxed enough to make feel people focus and serious about the music, but very relaxed and comfortable. Just to give a comparison, somebody who is not as good as a leader for me would be somebody who is very stressed, very arrogant, or disrespectful, or upset for no reason, and with a lot of tension, and will not be able to address or talk to the rest of the band to explain what he needs. And the result would be people wouldn't be serious or focused or generous with their playing. So I think a good band leader is somebody who can really bring the best out of people on stage.
Do you need to prepare yourself just before performing on stage?
You should be prepared to be not at home. You're putting something special. Then you can be yourself on stage too. You don't have to play somebody else. You can be yourself, but you have to be an extension of yourself. I would say like almost like a magic version of yourself. You have to appear, for me, in my opinion. So you have to appear that you hear to give and to share something with people who have coming from totally different places. Some people come from work, from very difficult lives. Some people come from very easy life. Some there's very poor people, rich people. Everybody is in the audience. It could be anybody, and you have to talk for everyone. You have to bring everybody together basically in your show. So when you're on stage, you have to have this kind of presence and try to be relaxed and open to people. Listen, not too much tension, and keep your energy open to whatever can happen. And if somebody is going to talk to you during the show, things like this, I think all those things you have to be flexible. This is the thing: flexible, open, relaxed, and friendly.
I like your expression, being on stage and giving a magical version of yourself.
The fairy magic version of yourself, the dream. Sometimes it helps to be on stage because with the spotlight, the energy of the people in the audience, the music itself, and the fact that it's a very special moment, it brings new things even in my playing, in my music itself, and there's something very mystical about being on stage. It's almost like the music with me bringing a new dimension.
What kind of risks do you like to take on stage?
On stage, I try to take all the risk. When I'm very comfortable and I feel rested and relaxed, I can really take every risk all the time, because when I take a risk, it's not really a risk; it's more a chance to try something, and I feel like I'm navigating into different planets, almost like, I don't know, trying to go somewhere I didn't go before, and I'm trying things, But if I'm very tired and I had a long tour, and sometimes I don't feel comfortable with the connection between my instrument and myself, some days they're just not there. So it's harder to take risk, because you feel that you want to already just play the music correctly, and you don't feel like you can really go if the music is the same as you played the day before. It's like different. And I think when at this moment, it's where I say that it's taking a risk to try chances and try things, and maybe it's even more meaningful when you take a risk at this moment. It's where it's more fragile and more precious. I've been doing some shows I was really unhappy and what I was doing, but after I got some videos from folks that were there, I was like, oh, I did this, I didn't realize that worked actually. So sometimes when you take a risk, sometimes you get a reward.
Not taking any risks would be just repeating a music but not playing really.
Yeah, it would be just like rehearsing the same thing, and it would be pretty depressing to me, at least. When you have emotions, you naturally take risk and take chances. You can stay in your box. You need to break the rules and break the preconception you had at the beginning of a tune. So I think it happens only if you really play with sincerity. We come back to the full circle, sincerity and honesty, and being in the moment and relax. When you play as an artist on stage, it's not school. It's not. There's no wrong or good anymore. It's really about a connection with the music and sharing, and you have to almost forget about yourself, your own self. So yeah, sometimes I teach some students, and it's one of the things I try to do is like. Because I have nothing to teach them, basically, because I'm an artist like them. I'm not going to teach them theory. They can teach themselves. They can read books and look at the harmony and how it works technically on the violin. These other things, maybe I can give some advices with experience, but it's not teaching. Teaching, the only thing I can teach is like I try to tell them to be playing and forgetting about themselves and try things, and even if it sounds weird or bad, they have to explore. Yeah, first you have to learn all the technique. At the same time, you have to learn how to be an artist, or just be yourself. You'll be an artist.
Last stage of the interview, I'm gonna leave the room. Please keep the microphone and add whatever you want to the interview.
Okay. So I wanted to talk about also the difficulty in life to balance like music, because music takes a big part of my life. And actually, for years it took my entire life, and probably also more than it should. So I was not healthy and reasonable. I was not eating too much. I was eating maybe one meal a day because I was really broke too. I didn't have money when I was first moved to New York, and so I had to. I still wanted to practice, and I practiced like 8 hours per day, and trying to really find something in music that I didn't know what it was. It took me like three years to really find some jobs and work. You know, it was really really difficult. I was getting like very sickly, skinny. You know, and finally I found someone who gave me a chance, and little by little I started playing gigs and gigs, and I started making a living with music. But it was difficult, and then I've been doing all my life like thinking only about music, and that was the only thing I wanted. And when you met somebody that you love, and person that is not music, it's another human being that also has aspiration and different ideas, and also other passions than music, then it's difficult to understand. For me at the beginning it was difficult to respect like even like the space, or being a musician, and 200% into my music. And I think one of the things I've learned with love, meeting somebody that you really love and you really care about, it's like music is not everything. Music is a part of me now, but and will be always. But I think to be a complete human being, you need to do other things than music. You need to know how to love somebody. You need to know how to listen other people, and go outside your art, and open yourself to different experience that have nothing to do with music. It's all about balance. That's what I've learned. So balance, and relationship with people, love, friends, and this wonderful planet. You know, there's many things to do. That's it.